And then I'm looking at the numbers and I'm evaluating them again. I'm going, I'm on the wrong side. I want the GP side. And then I made a decision, a strategic decision, that I would invest as an LP only using my self-directed IRA funds, and I would invest as a GP using my other funds.
How did you get there, though? Because you skipped all of Ahuva's steps.
Oh, yeah.
So why did you go from, brokering to maybe having a couple rentals? So, I have a great idea. Let's get rental apartment buildings. Like, you skipped a few, mental steps.
Well, that's the thing, because I didn't have enough money to buy anything at that point. I left for Germany. I sold my house. I only had so much money to buy maybe another property, which was actually, that's what I did when I came back. I purchased a condo and I rented it out right away. But I myself was renting because there was absolutely no properties on the market when I came back where I could land. So I rented and then I bought the condo. So I was renting that out. But that's about it, I couldn't go too far. I didn't have enough cash. So, and I heard about other people's money, that you can actually buy something like multifamily buildings, apartment buildings with other people's money. So I dug into this a little bit, but I didn't have enough money to start the journey. I thought, okay, I must put a lot of money into this myself still. Maybe I have enough, maybe I don't. And I just realized, okay, well, let me learn a little bit. I bought your book because I saw that somewhere, because I started doing the research. It was floating on Facebook.
It's yellow.
Yeah. It's yellow. It's very bright. So I bought it. And, I read it and I realized, okay, maybe I just need to get a little more education. Maybe I can find other people who have money, and that's where we can do something together. So, and I thought, also, Masha, you're doing residential real estate. You never know when a deal is going to come up. So that's kind of transactional, what I'm doing. And I'm doing it mostly for other people, and I can only get money when I sell a property to someone else. But would it be enough for me to purchase something? I don't know. I have to be creative about financing it properly. And that's when the whole thing came about.
So you had some money that you could have put into a rental property, and instead you decided to kind of invest in yourself. And you invested in education.
Exactly.
You basically hired a mentor, a full-time syndicator who's raised millions of dollars. And the question always comes, what should I do with this money? Should I, in fact, buy a rental property, or should I do something that you did? I have a perspective on this, but why did you decide to do that?
So remember, I bought the condo. So I bought one piece of property, but of course it can only get me so far. And as I researched, I realized that there are groups of people who are learning together and actually doing deals together, that I could join one of those groups. So it's only a matter of researching which group. And I see that people do have successes with those deals, and quite quickly, much better than, what was happening with my 10-year plan for 401k, and I realized also that, okay, it looks like you can be a completely passive investor, but you can also be an active investor. So because I had a little bit of money to still put in somewhere, I researched a deal, and I saw someone coming online with a webinar, and she sounded legit, and I figured, why not invest in that deal? It looks like that person can deliver. I can trust them. They've had multiple businesses. They have several kids, everything seems to be running smoothly. So I invested as an LP first in a 232 unit deal in Mississippi, of all places. I had no idea. It was actually a little shocking to me that, oh my God, this is Mississippi. Never even been there. How am I doing this? But it sounds like, it works. So I knew enough just to do that. But then beyond that, I questioned myself, what am I going to do next? So I have only so little money left. And it looks like I need to continue education, let me invest. And I heard people saying, invest in yourself, invest in yourself. The market is turning. So if you invest in yourself, you're going to get return on your investment for sure, because the world will just open up to you on what else you can do with your knowledge.
Wow,
and that's what I did.
And it's led to your first deal as well.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, so let's go back to Ahuva here. So you're doing all these, you're buying these smaller apartment buildings, you're self-funding them, and now you're like, oh crap, I ran out of money. What do I do now?
So I have to just kind of back up a little bit because I was approached to be an LP in a deal back in 21. I think initially they intended to hold it for longer, but they felt like the market was changing. They had kind of executed their business plan. Things had changed. It was only an 18-month hold. But I got out of it, and I also used my self-directed Roth IRA to fund it. And I made like a 30% return on that. And I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So I invested again with more funds to be able to be an LP in more deals. And then I'm looking at the numbers and I'm evaluating them again. I'm going, I'm on the wrong side. I want the GP side. And then I made a strategic decision, that I would invest as an LP only using my self-directed IRA funds, and I would invest as a GP using my other funds. So that was a calculated move that I made. But then I needed to find out how to do that because I felt that was what was really going to be the most profitable. In the meantime, I had put a 16-unit motel under contract. And in doing so, I realized that I was completely in a different realm of everything, financing. And I decided that was when, if I'm going to do bigger things, I need to do it with somebody on my team. So that's when I investigated the mentorship programs. I actually looked around at quite a few. And the reason why I chose yours was because you guaranteed that I would do a deal. So I felt that the funds that I was investing in the mentorship program, it was an investment. It was not an expense. And I think that was huge. And I have one thing that I need to come clean about, is that I only told my husband last night how much I paid. But at this juncture, he said it was worth it. It was worth it because I've gotten back so much more than I invested. It was a great return on my investment, which is why I made it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, typically my own experience, when I invest in myself, I get at least a 10x ROI usually. Yeah. And then at the same time, when I don't invest in my education or a mentor, it doesn't go well for me. Right. It didn't go well for me with restaurants. It didn't go that well for me for my first apartment building either, because I didn't have a mentor either. I did have a mentor in house flipping though, and that went amazingly good. And
it was just too much work.
Well, yes, it was too much work. And so if one can afford to, if one has money to invest, the best investment is yourself. Yeah, it's always like that. So you got across this deal here. Mm-hmm. Now, at one point, how did you guys link up then? Did we kind of connect you with each other? Or how did that work out?
Well, we were on a mentoring call, and actually it had been almost a year since I had been in the program, and I was kind of thinking, okay, Ahuva, let's go back to square one. Let's start. I had kind of taken a hiatus from the mentorship calls, and I went, I'm going to go on the mentorship call. And I went on the mentorship call, and I had discussed with my mentor also. I said to him, I said, you know what? I'm doing deals. I'm making money. Maybe syndication's just not for me. Maybe I would be better just focusing on doing what I know how to do. And I came on the call, and I kind of put that out there to everybody. I said, listen, I'm doing deals. I have 5 apartment buildings in Florida. I'm going to have a refi soon. I'm going to pull out cash. I'm going to go buy something else. Maybe I don't need syndication.
What'd they say?
And Masha was sitting there. Oh, and then I said, maybe, but on the other hand, maybe I'm selling myself short. Maybe I am capable of doing a syndication, and yet I just don't believe in myself the way I need to. And Masha reached out and she said, of course you can do it. And she actually reached out to me privately, and we scheduled a time to meet on Zoom. And she told me a little bit about her background, and I told her a little bit about mine. And she said that she loves to underwrite, and she said she has a capital partner. She says, we have everything in place. We just can't find a deal.
Yeah, we've been looking and looking and looking, and nothing was penciling. It was so frustrating.
Right.
Yeah. And even a few deals that Ahuva kind of threw my way. You know, you want to look at them. I looked at them. Nothing worked.
Nothing
worked until that one day.
Until I was actually on vacation in January, and I got this email, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going, gosh, I wish I could do this. And I'm literally thinking that I don't have the cash because I have 2 refinances that I'm waiting for. And then I went, no, wait a minute. I can send this to Masha. Maybe we can take this deal down with the 3 of us.
Right.
And I sent it to her, and she underwrote it. And we looked at it, and we were like, okay, I don't know why, but this makes sense. And then we're like, okay, so we got to see, we got to speak to our mentors. So we showed it to our mentors, and they're like, this is a really great deal. And we ended up having to make some calls, like to verify the information. This is a small market, so we had to make sure it was a robust market as we were thinking it was. We made some calls, we verified the information, we went back to our mentors and said, okay, this is what we found out. This is how it's penciling. This is what, and they're going, no, it's a good deal. And then we tried to kill it. We did everything. We tried to do this and we just could not kill this deal.